morning.
It is.
Chesley is back. And look at this beauty over here.
Oh, thank you. I'm sorry.
Francesca Amaker. She's the new member of our team. She helps balance us out. It is no longer me and the fellas.
Yeah.
And I'm so excited to be back in my hometown, Sheba.
Yes.
Yes.
Atlanta native, right?
I certainly am.
And prom queen.
Oh yeah, former prom queen as well.
Look at that.
Yes. Beauty and brains,
That's
we
right.
might add. All right, we will have your weather and traffic in just a moment. You can always find it at the side of your screen, but for now, we want to get you started with the Rush Block.
Francesca, what's going on in other news on planet Earth?
In other news, Crash, you know, not everything has to be blood and guts on the news. There's interesting stories out there that we have to talk about. First up, for those who travel, getting back into the country is going to take even longer as security gets ramped up. New rules start today. For every flight coming into the U.S. from a foreign airport, there will be closer inspections of electronics and more face-to-face interviews to try to spot those terrorists. The good news, here in Atlanta, officials say you won't see much of a difference. Now it's time for me to put on my sportscaster hat. The Astros tied up the World Series 1-1 with the Dodgers. Houston won it in the 11th inning, 7-6 in the middle of the night. One guy who didn't get to see the end of the game, this fella, he decided in the 10th inning to jump into the Astros bullpen. Unfortunately, he was a little slow and security was waiting on him. He's probably waking up right about right now with a little bit of a hangover. And finally, one of my favorite stories, Amazon has lost their minds. Coming next month, the Amazon Key, where you buy a $250 kit, which allows their drivers to drop off a package inside of your home. You'll be able to watch on your phone and a camera. It records the entire time, and I just feel like this is kind of cool, but at the same time, it's kind of creepy. I just smell like there's a lawsuit coming, right? Would you all trust this?
No.
Not one bit, right?
One word, no. Somebody coming into your house you don't know, even if you have them on your phone.
Don't know.
And they're doing something you don't want them to do. What are you doing?
Stop that, stop that.
You know, you can't talk to them.
What if it's Billy, your favorite Amazon delivery guy? You know, you guys get to know each other over a few months.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and you've sparked a friendship, a broship,
And when he's
a
off
bromance.
work, when he's off work, who's delivering my packages?
And that's the thing.
I think you can change the passcode, though.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't want anybody peeking in my house like that. I mean, and then of course Amazon's like, well, you got to buy our special camera, and you got to buy this too. So that's $250 times 10 million that they're going to get there. No, stay out of my house, you know. But you got to stop the porch pirates somehow.
Exactly.
11 million packages taken off of porches, and now we're getting near the holidays. So
What's the happy medium here?
a Dropbox.
That works.
Make a
Old-fashioned way,
Dropbox.
right?
If you get that much delivered from Amazon, seriously, I think you could create some sort of a Dropbox.
All
like
right.
that.
Okay, let us know what you think.
We can also resume talking to Francesca, who's got a whole lot of other news.
That's right, Crash. In other news, you know, we like to mix it up here. We can't be all serious all morning long. First up, trouble in paradise. In fact, it seems like paradise is over. Atlanta native and R&B singer TAMAR BRAXTON has filed for divorce from her husband, Vincent Herbert. Braxton filed for divorce this week in Los Angeles, citing irreconcilable differences. The two were just about to celebrate 9 years of marriage next month. They do have a 4-year-old son together, so Braxton is seeking joint custody of their son, Logan, but she wants him to live with her. And my favorite person, Atlanta's own Ludacris, is searching for the next big artist. Ludacris is hosting a new music competition on YouTube. Let's talk about it. The best cover ever will pair budding musicians with stars for a shot to perform a duet online. Demi Lovato, Katy Perry, and Keith Urban are just a few of the big names that are set to appear. The series debuts next month. And the big talk this morning, could weed soon be approved for NBA players? Former Commissioner David Stern says players should be able to use medicinal marijuana. Right now, it's on the banned substance list. Stern says players should be allowed to follow the law in whatever state they're playing. The Denver Nuggets should be fun to watch. The NBA actually released a statement saying the league position remains unchanged. I just don't know about this. I mean, do you feel like we're really going to see this happen? Well, I know that earlier this year, the NFL Players Association did come out saying that they're going to test it out with their players. But do you really feel like this is going to be a thing for sports?
The question is it a thing already?
That's none of my business.
Well, we know in sports that's a thing. I mean, you know,
Right.
players get fined all the time or, you know, get suspended for having marijuana. Weed is a big thing in sports. We already know that. So I wonder if they're thinking it will make it just better just to go ahead and let them have their way.
Yeah.
And there are reports of players playing under the influence.
Well,
especially after they retire, they'll come out and say, "Oh yeah, for X amount of games,
Yeah.
I was this, I was that." So
I think it's happening already.
yeah, I could see. Yeah,
Maybe,
yeah.
you know, on the off days or off day. I know during seasons you only have a few days off, but at least in the movies, that's,
I don't think anything's,
you know.
If
You
it's
watch
mi-
Survivor's Remorse?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, I'm just saying, I don't think they should be penalized for it. That's all I'll say.
Okay.
This is Morning Rush.
Oh yeah, we're waving our Morning Rush towels.
Yes.
Good
Get 'em up, get 'em up,
morning,
get 'em up, get 'em up, get 'em up.
everyone. It is Thursday, October 26th, and we have a new member of our team joining us this morning.
There she is.
Francesca
Hey.
Amaker.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Atlanta's own.
That's right.
Atlanta's
Born
own.
and raised.
She's a
Cheswick.
peach.
I am. Went to school here, Chamblee High School, Chamblee Middle School as well.
Okay.
Was prom queen.
Go ahead.
President of my class.
So we need to kiss the
All
ring. We need to kiss the
Stop
ring.
it. And then Vanderbilt University. So I'm glad to be back home.
And she's going to be covering some entertainment stories for us as well. She has been fully engaged
In the community.
in the entertainment
Nonstop.
community so far.
Glad you're here.
All right, so if you need your weather and traffic, it is at the side of your screen. We'll have those full updates for you coming up in just a few minutes. But first, we want to get you started with all the news you need to know before you head out the door. We are calling it the Rush Block.
Gwinnett County, the largest school district in the state, had 31, and Henry County had 26 cases.
School threats, guns, really scary topics, and the story is getting a lot of comments on our Facebook page. So here is what some of our friends are saying.
A lot of schools have changed since I was in school. I'm from Mississippi, so I'm a country girl. When I grew up, we all had rifles in our house. My father had a rifle rack on the back of his truck. We even took rifle safety classes in school, and nobody shot anybody.
If you would kick these kids' butts, you'd have less of this garbage.
So she is suggesting corporal punishment. Our other viewers saying that there was guns everywhere in their home, and it was just how they grew up, but there were no concerns about students committing violence or fighting and that sort of thing. So how has times changed here?
Times changed big time. I mean, for kids to even think about this at that age is just, I can't fathom it. But I think that schools are going to go to the point where there's gun detectors in every school. I know some schools have them,
They
but I
do.
think all schools are going to wind up having to have this because of these threats.
Even when I was in school just a few years ago, people were starting to talk about having those metal detectors, but the problem with metal detectors is that kind of creates a false sense of security for students. And so just because we have them doesn't mean that it's going to work.
Yeah, who's to say that the students making the threats would be bringing guns and bombs into school? It could be, you know, you're planning everything at home and then you strike. But this accused or alleged plot was thwarted, thank goodness.